So this is the last part of your first phase, which is defining the problem. There's a saying in the world of entrepreneurship: if you're not embarrassed by the first product you launched too late. And that's because when you're launching your first product, you still really don't know who your customers are, and even though you've done the exercise around it, you actually haven't seen it in action. So this is really doubling down on the fact that you need to be really, really clear about who your customers are and what problems do they need solved. But how do you get there? How do you know what is really, really wrong and what others are not solving well, and really how you can make that or alleviate that problem better than some other established players haven't been able to do successfully? This is where part of problem prioritization comes in. Take a moment to actually write out or use sticky notes to actually articulate all the variety of problems you uncovered when you talk to your different customers. Build a hypothesis. What you will end up doing is you will actually start building multiple hypotheses because different users have different reactions to problems, and they may articulate them differently. And the reason I bring this up is because in our previous exercises, you've talked to the different users, you've identified their personas, you've also articulated all the different problems they've talked to you about. Now, it's important to know that you cannot solve all those problems. And as an entrepreneur, that's actually your natural instinct to go and see how can I address most problems so that I can delight the customer the most. You really cannot do that, not at the beginning. So the biggest thing and the most important part of this exercise and the problem identification phase is prioritization. I often say this: fall in love with the problem, not the solution. We often think about the features we're going to build instead of the problem we're going to solve. So in order to get to the crisp and clear prioritization of the problems, this is a quick and simple framework you want to think about. So the first thing you want to do is focus on the biggest issues here. Not all problems are created equal, so really focus on driving the biggest impact. If there's something that's stopping people from directly addressing their day-to-day or finding something really challenging in doing a very important task, that's the biggest problem you can solve. The second thing you want to do is validate that while you have the customers accessible, and you can obviously do that by through surveys or post-interview conversations. Validate how your customers are reacting to your competitors' solutions. So you also understand, while these may be the biggest issues, what are the solutions that are not working for them and why. In these conversations, also ask them about what features would work for them. Now, let the customer talk to you about features, but don't take that to mean that that's your roadmap. Really look at what is the problem they're trying to address through those features. And a third thing you can do is go out to the world of social media. There are so many users who are accessible and willing to take polls, react to clicks, and so on, who can give you a quick validation of, is this the biggest problem? Obviously segmented based on your target audience, but that's another quick way to validate how your message or your solution may or may not resonate with your users.